This healthy food causes more heart attacks than cholesterol, Cardiologist explains. Within the confines of your very own kitchen, an everyday object, utilized multiple times a day by unsuspecting individuals, is quietly contributing to a significant increase in heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. This insidious contributor is not the commonly blamed cholesterol or even salt. Instead, it's an ingredient masterfully concealed within foods that have been meticulously marketed as wholesome and beneficial. We are frequently led to believe these items are healthy, light, heart-friendly, natural, and sometimes even doctor-recommended. For individuals over the age of 50, this issue gains paramount importance. Unlike in our younger years, our arteries lose their elasticity, our blood pressure regulation becomes more sensitive, and our heart muscles possess less resilience to sudden stressors. Consequently, when this particular ingredient repeatedly enters our system, day after day, it doesn't merely add empty calories. Instead, it initiates a detrimental chain reaction within the body, progressively hardening, inflaming, and destabilizing our cardiovascular system. This silent damage can culminate in a life-altering event: a sudden chest tightness, an arm going numb, slurred speech, marking a stark division between life as it was and life as it becomes. As Dr. Charles Bennett, I am here to unveil the ingredient that cardiologists privately dread the most, not because it carries an overt warning label, but because its presence is undetectable and its consumption feels entirely innocuous. In the ensuing discourse, we will systematically dissect 5 critical aspects. Firstly, we will identify this ingredient and elucidate why cardiovascular specialists consider it a far greater destructive force than is commonly acknowledged. Secondly, we will expose the myriad of deceptive label names employed by the food industry to camouflage its presence, often ensuring it doesn't appear as a primary ingredient. Thirdly, we will pinpoint the seemingly healthy foods where this ingredient is most frequently concealed. Fourthly, we will meticulously detail the step-by-step physiological processes it triggers within your arteries. Finally, we will present a straightforward 4-week plan designed to facilitate its reduction without requiring extreme dietary sacrifices or a sense of deprivation. It is crucial to state with utmost clarity that my intention is not to induce fear for mere entertainment. My purpose is rooted in the urgent need to address the alarming rate of preventable cardiovascular damage that stealthily accumulates over years. Heart disease continues to be the leading cause of mortality globally, with adults over 50 bearing the most significant burden of risk. A profound misunderstanding persists. Many of these adverse outcomes are not attributable to sheer bad luck, predetermined fate, or an unchangeable genetic predisposition. Rather, they are the predictable consequences of our daily habits, particularly one prevalent habit in the modern diet that is fundamentally alien to the human body's design. This detrimental ingredient is, unequivocally, added sugar, with a particular emphasis on highly processed sugars and concentrated fructose-based sweeteners that are ubiquitously incorporated into packaged foods. I anticipate the immediate response. Doctor, everyone is already aware that sugar is bad. However, the critical distinction that eludes widespread understanding is the nature of this bad sugar. This discourse is not about the naturally occurring sugars found in a piece of fruit, nor is it about the occasional use of a teaspoon of honey. This is about added sugar, sugar intentionally introduced into foods, many of which do not even register as overtly sweet to our palates. Think of bread, various sauces, salad dressings, products labeled low-fat, seemingly healthy snack items, and even those proclaiming to be whole grain. The core issue lies in the cumulative impact of repeated concentrated sugar signals bombarding our bodies, signals our metabolism was never evolutionarily equipped to process at the intense levels encountered in contemporary diets. Cardiologists regard this issue with profound seriousness because added sugar exerts its harmful effects on the heart through multiple simultaneous avenues, much like a multi-headed serpent. The first head, it dramatically elevates triglyceride levels. Triglycerides are far from being an innocuous number on a laboratory report. Elevated levels are a direct indicator that your bloodstream is saturated with excess fat. This circulating fat readily deposits itself onto artery walls, actively contributing to the formation of atherosclerotic plaque. While many individuals focus excessively on LDL cholesterol, they often overlook the significance of triglycerides until a serious health event serves as a stark wake-up call. The second head, it diminishes the efficacy of your protective cholesterol, HDL, often referred to as good cholesterol. HDL plays a crucial role in your body's cleanup system, facilitating the removal of excess cholesterol from your arteries. Dietary patterns characterized by high added sugar intake are strongly correlated with reduced HDL levels, effectively leading to an understaffed cleanup crew tasked with managing a continuously growing accumulation of arterial debris. The third head, it adversely influences blood pressure regulation. While the role of salt in hypertension is widely acknowledged, high sugar consumption is intrinsically linked to physiological mechanisms that affect vascular tone, insulin signaling, and the kidneys' handling of sodium. All these factors can contribute to elevated blood pressure, a concern that is amplified in individuals over 50 whose blood vessels have inherently lost some of their flexibility. The fourth head, and arguably the most lethal, it fuels inflammation and destabilizes existing arterial plaques. This is the primary mechanism that leads to catastrophic cardiovascular events. Inflammation doesn't merely damage arteries, it renders atherosclerotic plaques unstable, making them far more prone to rupture. When a plaque ruptures, the body initiates a clotting cascade. This clot, if it obstructs blood flow within the heart, results in a heart attack. If it blocks circulation to the brain, it triggers a stroke. Therefore, the danger is not solely the gradual, insidious buildup of plaque. The true peril lies in the sudden, life-threatening event that follows years of silent progression. What should truly ignite your anger is the deliberate strategy employed by the food industry. Aware of the growing public apprehension surrounding the word sugar, they have resorted to obfuscation. This isn't a metaphorical hiding, it's a literal concealment. They employ dozens of different names for sugar, artfully disguised to prevent the average consumer from recognizing its presence on ingredient lists, thereby preventing it from appearing as a primary ingredient. Consider a pragmatic illustration. A snack bar advertised as high fiber and heart healthy might list ingredients such as brown rice syrup, cane juice, fruit concentrate, dextrose, maltodextrin, and honey. To the untrained eye, these appear as distinct components. However, to your cardiovascular system, this represents the same detrimental signal being delivered 6 times over. This is precisely why I will equip you with the precise label language necessary for accurate identification. From this day forward, the ability to decipher food labels will become your primary tool for safeguarding your arteries. Memorize these key categories. Firstly, any form of syrup should be treated as concentrated sugar, with particular vigilance directed towards corn-based syrups and high fructose sweeteners. Secondly, be wary of any ingredient ending in O's. Fructose, sucrose, maltose, glucose, and lactose are all variations of sugar that trigger similar metabolic responses. Thirdly, scrutinize concentrates and nectars. Fruit juice concentrate, for instance, is one of the most deceptive terms in the modern food landscape. While it sounds like fruit, its physiological impact is that of sugar. Fourthly, beware of the natural-sounding traps such as agave nectar, cane crystals, evaporated cane juice, and coconut sugar. While their marketing may evoke an image of purity and naturalness, your arteries experience the same metabolic pressure as they would from more conventional forms of sugar. Here's the simplest, most actionable rule a cardiologist can offer. If a packaged food item boasts a lengthy ingredient list, and you can identify multiple names associated with sugar, do not entertain any negotiation. Your heart is indifferent to whether the sugar is organic, trendy, or purportedly natural. It responds solely to the biochemical signal. I'm about to undertake an action rarely witnessed from a medical professional publicly. I will expose the foods you diligently purchase, believing you are making health-conscious choices, yet which are frequently laden with hidden added sugars. Pay close attention, as the first category often elicits widespread surprise because it is promoted as an ideal daily health habit. Yet it insidiously primes your body for chronic inflammation, insulin stress, and sustained pressure on your arteries. Let us dissect these healthy imposters one by one in a manner that will ensure you never forget. We will now expose the foods that inflict the greatest cardiovascular damage, not due to their inherently unappealing appearance, but because they are deceptively presented as wholesome. These are the items consumed daily, often with pride, as individuals believe they are actively protecting their heart, all the while unknowingly accelerating cardiovascular deterioration. This is the aspect that causes me the most profound concern as a cardiologist. Our first healthy food trap is low-fat fruit yogurt. The removal of fat, essential for flavor and texture, necessitates compensation. Manufacturers achieve this by heavily loading these yogurts with added sugars. A single modest cup can frequently contain between 20 to 25 grams of added sugar, which is close to the entire daily limit recommended by the World Health Organization. Your heart gains no benefit from reduced fat content if it is paired with an excessive sugar load. Next, we have granola bars and energy bars, marketed as sources of fuel or clean energy. In reality, many of these products harbor more sugar than a typical chocolate bar due to the compounding effect of syrups, honey, and fruit concentrates. These are essentially desserts disguised in athletic attire. The third trap, which often surprises many, is 100% fruit juice. This beverage strips away the fiber, the very component that moderates sugar absorption. What remains is a rapid infusion of fructose directly to the liver. A substantial glass of juice can induce significant spikes in blood sugar and triglycerides. Numerous studies now corroborate that frequent juice consumption, much like regular soda intake, escalates cardiovascular risk. Our fourth culprit is whole grain breakfast cereals. Despite their whole grain designation, many cereals contain a substantial amount of sugar per serving, often in the range of 10 to 15 grams. The average consumer often consumes 2 servings, doubling this intake without realizing it. If sugar appears within the first 3 ingredients on the label, your heart is beginning the day under significant metabolic stress. The fifth category involves low-fat sauces and dressings. This includes items like barbecue sauce, ketchup, teriyaki sauce, and salad dressings, particularly those marketed as light. As fat content is reduced, sugar is often introduced as a replacement for flavor. While a single tablespoon might seem insignificant, the cumulative consumption of these sauces and dressings throughout the day quickly adds up. Trap food number 6 is commercial whole grain bread. Many commercially produced breads incorporate added sugar into every slice. A typical sandwich, comprising just 2 slices, can easily contribute 8 to 10 grams of sugar before any additional condiments or fillings are added. Seventh on our list are sports drinks and flavored waters. Unless you are engaged in extremely strenuous and prolonged physical activity, these beverages are largely unnecessary sugar delivery systems. The fundamental requirement for hydration does not necessitate the addition of sweetness. Trap food number 8 consists of hash, dried fruit, and trail mixes. The process of drying inherently concentrates the natural sugars present in fruits. When these are combined with chocolate, yogurt coatings, or sweetened nuts, the result is a potent sugar bomb masquerading as a wholesome natural snack. Ninth, we must consider flavored plant milks, such as vanilla, almond, or chocolate oat milk. Many of these varieties can contain as much as 10 to 16 grams of added sugar per glass. Opting for their unsweetened counterparts is a significantly safer choice for cardiovascular health. Finally, trap food number 10 encompasses fitness protein products, including protein bars, shakes, and cookies. A substantial number of these items can contain an alarming 15 to 25 grams of sugar. In essence, you are often paying a premium price for sugar that is merely labeled as a protein supplement. A comprehensive analysis of over 60,000 packaged food products revealed that a staggering 75% contained added sugar, even when they were marketed with health-promoting claims. Now that you are armed with the knowledge of where added sugar commonly hides, it is imperative to understand the precise physiological impact it has within your body, as this is where the true danger resides. Here is a detailed breakdown of what added sugar actively does inside your arteries. This is not a matter of conjecture, but a matter of established physiology. Step 1. Rapid absorption. Added sugar, especially when consumed in liquid form or within highly processed foods devoid of fiber, is rapidly absorbed into your bloodstream. Step 2. Insulin overload. In response to this swift influx of sugar, your pancreas releases significant quantities of insulin to manage the resulting blood sugar spike. Repeated and frequent spikes of this nature can lead to the development of insulin resistance, a condition where your cells become less responsive to insulin's signals. Step 3. Liver overload. Fructose, a primary component of many added sugars, must be processed by the liver. When the liver is overwhelmed with excessive fructose intake, it converts this sugar into fat. This fat is then released into the bloodstream in the form of triglycerides and very low-density lipoprotein (VLDL) particles. Step 4. Arterial damage. The elevated levels of triglycerides circulating in your bloodstream can deposit into the walls of your arteries, contributing to the buildup of atherosclerotic plaque. Furthermore, sugar molecules can attach to proteins within your blood vessels through a process called glycation. This process stiffens and weakens your blood vessels, making them fragile, much like caramelizing the interior of your arteries. Step 5. Chronic inflammation. The presence of excess sugar and the resulting arterial damage trigger chronic inflammation. This inflammation destabilizes existing plaques, making them more susceptible to rupture. When a plaque ruptures, your body initiates a clotting response. If this clot obstructs blood flow within a coronary artery, it results in a heart attack. If it blocks circulation to the brain, it leads to a stroke. This entire cascade of detrimental events occurs silently, often without any noticeable symptoms, until the day it manifests in a critical event. Now, for the encouraging news, a significant portion of this damage can be reversed. This can be achieved not through extreme diets or constant deprivation, but through a structured, realistic, and achievable plan. I present to you the 4-week sugar exit plan. Week 1. Awareness. During this initial week, refrain from making any drastic dietary changes. Instead, focus your energy on diligently reading food labels. Identify precisely where added sugar is subtly entering your daily consumption. This phase of knowledge acquisition is the cornerstone of regaining control. Week 2. Eliminate sugary drinks. This single, impactful step consistently yields the most rapid improvements in cardiovascular markers. Replace all sugary beverages with plain water, unsweetened tea, black coffee, or sparkling water. Week 3. Optimize breakfast and snacks. Revolutionize your breakfast by choosing protein-rich options such as eggs, Greek yogurt, or unsweetened oats topped with nuts. For snacks, opt for items that help stabilize blood sugar rather than causing sharp spikes, such as a handful of almonds or a piece of fruit with a source of protein. Week 4. Embrace real meals. Focus on preparing meals from whole, unprocessed foods. Pay close attention to ingredient lists. If a product contains more than 5 ingredients and sugar names are among them, leave it on the grocery store shelf. It is important to anticipate potential withdrawal symptoms during the first 2 weeks of this transition. These may include headaches, intense cravings, and irritability. These are normal physiological responses as your brain adjusts to the absence of sugar's reward pathways. However, research indicates that cravings typically diminish by 70–80% after approximately 1 month. Concurrently, you can expect improvements in blood pressure, a reduction in triglyceride levels, a stabilization of energy, enhanced sleep quality, and most importantly, a significant decline in your overall cardiovascular risk. Perfection is not the objective, consistency is key. Adopting a 90-10 rule is a practical approach. Maintain a sugar-free intake 90% of the time, allowing for flexibility and enjoyment without guilt when social or life events call for it. Your heart does not require added sugar to function. It never has. Before you conclude this session, I urge you to take a powerful action. If the information presented today has illuminated your understanding, please consider liking this video and subscribing for ongoing science-based heart health strategies, particularly tailored for individuals over 50. Leave a comment stating, "I'm eliminating added sugar starting today." And most importantly, share this vital information with a loved one. You may never know whose life and heart you will ultimately protect. I am Dr. Charles Bennett. Thank you for prioritizing your health. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and your heart will be grateful for these decisions for years to come.